USCIS has stopped printing green cards and work authorization cards. There's been quite a few reports about this in past videos, but in this video, I want to give you the most recent update and what you can do about it if you are waiting for your green card and it's not coming in the mail. Watch this video and I'll tell you more. In this video, we'll talk about USCIS's failure to print green cards and work permits, also known as EADs, during this very sensitive time where people actually need to be able to work, travel, and be able to prove that they are legally allowed to live in this country and be able to work. So before we dive into this, this is the most recent update that I have about this situation, and also we'll talk in this video what you can do now if you haven't received your green card or your EAD with respect to employment and your ability to travel in and out of the country if needed. But before we dive into the video, make sure you subscribe to this channel, click this bell to be notified because we release videos every single week and you don't want to miss that. Give us a big like on the video so this way YouTube will be able to show this video to more people that need that information just like you do. So let's talk about the crisis with the USCIS not being able to print green cards and EADs. So when it comes to green cards, it started with this was announced in an article a few weeks ago where the reporter mentioned that people are getting approved for their adjustment of status 485. The website, the USCIS website, indicates that their card is in production. So typically when you finish an interview for your 485, those that have interviews, or those that because as you know, some interviews were waived. So those people that still have interviews and they went through their interview, after the interview, typically, if all goes well, you should be receiving your card within a few days. In the past, we were receiving the green card, within 48 hours, maximum a week. Well, those people that went through those interviews and they were approved, they would see on the website the case status that says that the card is being produced. But the reality is that a week went by, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks, the card never arrived. And in fact, what that article revealed is that USCIS essentially stopped the production of EADs, which is the work permits, as well as the green cards. Now, the reason this happened, you know, they have two main centers, Kentucky and Missouri, where they print those cards, and they were using an outside service, like a contractor, for years to be able to print those cards, make sure that they are done correctly with all the security codes in them or whatever they have to do. And then those cards were shipped to the applicants under contract, where USCIS decided to terminate that contract and bring that operation in-house. And with already backlog, and originally when the delays started happening and people were not getting their EADs and their green cards, you know, I assumed, like many other attorneys, that this is happening because of COVID-19, because of the delays, because USCIS, they were closed for a while for the public. They were also working on a limited capacity. We thought that that's the reason why those cards were not received. But the reality is because they decided to bring that operation in-house with some idea to save money or make it more efficient, who knows why. Well, since it was brought in-house, they were not able to handle the processing, and essentially production was brought to a stop without announcing anything, without telling the candidate, the applicants, that this is what happened. And their website continued to show case status that cards are continuing to be produced. Only recently, if you go and check on some of these cases, there's no case status anymore that says that the cards are being produced. Either there's no status, or it says that the case is finished interview, or that's the last status of the interview. So currently their website don't say that the cards are in production finally, but for a while it was just so confusing. So now we know that they have this, and the reports say that more than 75,000 people are impacted with EADs, and more than 50,000 people are impacted with green cards not being received. And so the recent update that I have to report to you is that there's been a major lawsuit filed by a law firm in Ohio, and that law firm is basically, took a class action case. They made it a class action. I think there's almost more than 50,000 people that are part of that class action, And that class action is based on a case of Ms. Subramaya. And essentially what happened in her case, which is very similar to a lot of people in the class, where she filed her extension in April, and she was waiting and waiting, and then her employer, in this particular case, required her to provide her EAD. They're not willing for her to continue working without her EAD, and as a result, in June, she was terminated. And so she had a very good cause because she suffered loss. She was probably one of the main providers for the family and things like that. And so her case is kind of leading this class action. There's thousands and thousands of people that joined. And there's going to be a hearing on Wednesday. So this is being recorded on Saturday. So this coming Wednesday, there's going to be a hearing on this, and hopefully we'll know what's going on. And of course, I'll keep you posted. So this lawsuit essentially is, it's a sort of a mandamus. It's going to force the government to act. In this case, force the government to produce the EADs and the cards within 7 days because their actions are capricious, unreasonable. They are essentially causing harm to the applicants for no reason. They gave them a benefit and now they are not allowing them to take advantage of their benefit. They approved them for the green card, but they're not actually able to use it. So this class action mandamus, the goal of this action is to force the government to act and issue those cards within 7 days. So we'll see what happens. And of course, we're going to keep you posted. So what can you do actually now that this is happening? Green card holders are required by law to carry their actual green cards so they can prove to potential employers that they're authorized to work, but also in case they need to change jobs. Some new employers may also need proof of, that they have green cards. It's also important for the I-9 verification of employment to have that card available. So people that are not able to produce those cards are severely harmed by these delays, and therefore it's really important for this to be resolved as soon as possible. At the same time, people that have EADs, work authorizations, it's very important for them to always have those work authorizations current. Most of the time they're valid up to 2 years, and while they're renewing, sometimes when there's a gap, it can create problems for people to either keep their employment or seek new employment in case they get terminated. Certain foreign nationals, such as refugees, people that are pending adjustment of status and STEM OPT, are able to continue working for up to 180 days with an expired EAD as long as they filed the extension before the EAD expired. So we're looking at a grace period of 180 days. But with these delays in production, these things may take even more than 6 months. And so the concern is that a lot of people, thousands of people, may be severely impacted if their cards are not going to be issued on time for them to continue to work, or if they need to leave the country as well to travel. The inability of the government to do its job can create extreme hardship for a lot of employees that need to switch jobs or continue to prove to their current employers that are able to work. And also for green card holders, if they need to get certain benefits, finance homes, get mortgages, they need to show their green card. So it's definitely very, very serious. So what can you do? So if you're a green card holder and you filed for an extension and your green card is expiring, you can make an emergency appointment at the USCIS and get a stamp. It's called an I-551 stamp in your passport, and that stamp typically will be given to you for 6 months to a year for you to be able to stay in the country, or if you need to leave the country, you'll be able to leave with that stamp. It essentially is like a green card, just like a green card. So those of you that are pending your green card applications and you're trying to prove that you are green card holders, you should be able to make an emergency info pass and be able to get a stamp. If you have an EAD pending and you're not able to prove employment, if it's beyond 180 days, it's really important to speak with the employer and negotiate and explain to them, keep them informed of what's going on. So, quite a few months before the expiration of the card or your grace period, so your employers are aware of what's going on and work with them together to go through this crisis, because again, it's not your fault that this happened, it's the government's fault that cards are not being printed. So hopefully with this pending litigation, next week we're going to know more, and hopefully if this mandamus is successful, the government will be forced to issue those cards within 7 days or so, and then see what happens. But in the meantime, it's really important to stay creative, to be informed, just like watching this video. And make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can stay informed about videos like that we release every single week. Click the bell to be notified. And please share this video with somebody that may need this information, because a lot of you are worried. And drop me a comment, let me know what your questions you have, and I'm happy to answer them. And by the way, if you, a lot of this information we share in our private Facebook group. We try to keep the group updated with daily news and kind of interpretation. So if you want to join our Facebook group, there's a link in the description of this video. Make sure you go there. You can ask more questions you cannot ask in the comments here, or you feel in a more safe environment. We're trying to make sure there's no haters in there. So definitely join our Facebook group. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.